So I spent a couple days with the Samsung Galaxy A17 5G, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the things I like and the things I dislike about this device. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. We have the brand new Samsung Galaxy A17 5G in the house right here. And I'm going to go over my pros and cons on this device. And we're just going to go ahead and get the cons out of the way on this device, because there's only 3 of them, but they are 3 big ones. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the pros. The first con is that there are no notable upgrades on this device other than a couple things. The first one, of course, is going to be the facelift they did on the back of this device. It looks much more modern, it looks much more sleek, and it looks much more in line with the Galaxy S series and the FE series as well. So definitely looks a lot newer, a lot more modern on the back of this device. In my honest opinion, I think it looks better as well. So that's one of the things that they changed. And of course, they added Gorilla Glass Victus Plus to this, which reaches a level 5 on Mohs hardness scale. So those are essentially the only 2 upgrades that we got from the Galaxy A16 to the Galaxy A17. Crazy stuff right there, but that's the first con about this device. The second con is going to be that there are no stereo speakers on this device. And I'm going to go ahead and play a video really quick for you guys just so you can go ahead and hear this. So yeah, we have one mono speaker at the bottom of this phone, and it is honestly really not that good. It does get a little bit loud, but it sounds super flat. There's hardly any bass inside of it. I was definitely hoping for stereo speakers, and I was hoping that that was going to come to the Galaxy A17, and that was going to be one of the upgrades. Definitely something that people want on the A18 in the future, though. And the last and final con has to be that this device does have some lag when it reaches the 4GB of RAM model. As far as the 6GB of RAM model, I do have some hiccups here or there, but it is not as prevalent as it is with the 4GB of RAM model. So if you guys are wanting the Galaxy A17 and you want a better experience, definitely get either the 6 or 8GB of RAM variant. Now, as far as the United States goes, for the people out there from the US, I'm not sure if the base model is going to be 4 or 6GB of RAM. I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully it is going to be the 6GB of RAM for the base model in the US, but something inside of me feels like it's only going to be 4. So really hoping that they bring the 6 gigs in there, because it is a little slow with that 4GB of RAM. All right, everyone, so getting the bad stuff out of the way with the Galaxy A17 5G, let's get into the good stuff about this device, the pros. So the first pro is going to be that we have a micro SD card slot in 2025 on a sub $200 phone. Beautiful, beautiful stuff to see here, especially when a lot of the applications that you get nowadays are multiple gigabytes. So that can take a lot of the system storage away, which is great because you'll have extra storage for photos and videos and big files. I believe up to 2 terabytes on this device. So amazing that Samsung kept that expandable memory inside this device. And it's also pretty nice that on a sub $200 device, we have a 128 gigabyte base storage. So that's something that I do enjoy about this phone. Our second pro is going to be that we have 6 years of major operating system updates. And as you guys know, out of the box, we have One UI 7.0 with Android 15, and we're going to go all the way up to Android 21 with this device. So amazing update policy on the Galaxy A17. This is something that Samsung has been doing with essentially all of their devices in the lineup, whether it's the Z Fold, the S line, the A series. Amazing update policy from Samsung, and they didn't leave you out on the Galaxy A17. Next up, we have a pretty solid battery life on here. I can definitely get a day and a half out of this battery, especially if you're more of the moderate users, if you're not constantly gaming or constantly watching movies and stuff like that. This does have a big battery. It has a 5,000 milliamp battery. This also charges pretty quick with a 25 watt fast charging as well. So inside of here, very solid battery, even for the users that don't really use their phone for anything other than phone calls, text, maybe watching a little bit of YouTube, doing some web searches. Some of you may be able to get even 2 days out of this. So we have a big solid battery inside of here. Definitely something that I like about this device. Our fourth pro on this device has to be the refresh on this design, and one of the reasons has to be the colors as well. We have this gray color. I know I said silver in the unboxing, but I guess this is the gray color that Samsung came out with. I'm really liking the look of this color on here, and not just the color, but the whole new refresh and the whole new design that they did with the A17 from the A16. Obviously, on the Galaxy A16, you saw all of these camera modules spaced out, and they kind of weren't in line with the S series or the newer Samsung devices, and this looks much more modern and much more new and in line with the other Samsung devices out of there. So a lot of people are going to see you toting around this device, and they're probably not going to assume that it is a budget phone, when in actuality it is a $200 phone. So that's something I really like about this device, is the new design and the new refresh and facelift of the Galaxy A17. It looks pretty great. Next pro has to be the selfie camera on here. Very solid selfie camera for taking photos. You get some good detail. Your skin tones aren't going to be darker or much brighter. They're going to be very natural when it comes to skin tones on here, which is something that I was a little bit worried about. So the front facing camera, the selfie camera on here is great. Absolutely love it so far. Now, when it comes to the video, that's something that's not too great, honestly, and we'll talk about that later on in the full camera review, but there is a little bit of a stability issue when it comes to that. And our sixth and final pro has to be that we have a very solid main camera. You get good color, you get good saturation. I'll go ahead and put a bunch of the photos up here so I'm not just scrolling through them. You get good color, good saturation. You get good contrast, you get some great clarity, very solid for $200. There's not many cameras out there at this price tag that will get close to this, so absolutely great computational photography when it comes to the Galaxy A17 5G. So those were my pros and cons on the Samsung Galaxy A17 5G. If you have any of your own pros or cons, definitely leave them in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you think about this device. Also, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. This has been Safon from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.